Okay, hi. I'm going to do a Breyer tag that I found today. It's Breyer Stories. I can't remember who made it. Let me go see on the internet. 1 second. YouTube is so slow. It's storming, so the internet's really slow. It was by HorseCrazyGuy. Okay, there we go. It took me really long to find that. So I'm going to share like 4 stories, I guess. I'll do the farthest away to the most recent. Story 1 is about Barbaro. I got him, gosh, I think a couple years ago. I don't know. I went to a store with a friend of mine and my mom, and I went in just planning to look for Breyer. My friend had recently bought Barbaro, and her sister I think got one too. But I went in and I think I was gonna look for one or something, and it turns out my friend had actually had them reserve one for me, and I didn't know about it until I got in there, and she was like, "Oh wait, we had them hold one for you," and I was like, "Oh sweet, cool." So that's Barbaro's story. He was a nice surprise. Sorry, he's really dusty. He's been on my shelf. So that was my nice Barbaro surprise. And then the next story is Zenyatta, and I apologize, I have a really crummy, hastily made tag set on here. Zenyatta I got, oh gosh, like maybe a year ago, if that. I hadn't had any Breyers recently. Before her, my most recent was Barbaro, and as I said earlier, he's a couple years ago. So the story with her is a good friend of mine on a game. I play horse, and a good friend of mine on there and I were talking about getting Zenyatta because we both really wanted the model, and the problem for that is there was no way I was going to convince my parents to let me get it because, oh, it's a waste of money, you're too old for that, whatever. But anyway, after talking with my friend for a while, I finally got the guts to go ask my mom if I could order her, and she actually let me, surprisingly. So that's the story of Zenyatta. It was planned, and I was very scared to ask, but I actually got her. So here she is. Wonderful model, love her. And then the other one that I got is, I'm not sure what the mold is called, but it's a classic. It's the I'm pretty sure it's the thoroughbred. I call him Devious, just because I do. This is my racing tack set that I made myself. Haven't had a chance to put numbers on here. But anyway, the story with him is I recently got 2 of my friends into Breyers. I don't regret that at all. So I got them into Breyers, and a friend of mine and I were going to different stores, trying to find models because it's like impossible to find stores these days that actually carry them, at least around here. So we went into the store, and she found a model that she liked, and I was just kind of looking around just because whatever. And ironically, this is the same store that I bought Barbaro, but anyway. I found him there, and I picked him up, and normally I don't like classics normally, even though I have like a bajillion, because when I was little I bought a ton of them so I could play with them, and they were cheap, so whatever, I have a ton of classics. So I walked in there, and I saw him, and I couldn't decide if I wanted him or not. I picked him up, and I was like, oh, he's cute, I like him. I put him back, and I kept looking back, and I was like, you know what, fine. It must be fate. So I bought him, and he's probably one of the last classics I'll ever buy, but he was just too pretty to pass up, so that's why I have Devious. And the most recent that I got, oh gosh, I think it was like Tuesday of last week, like really recently. And if you saw my video on my other channel, you'll have seen him already. But this is the traditional Starlight of the Saddle Club. I got him for like $15. Actually, I think he was like $12 on eBay with the shipping. It's a really good deal. He's actually in really good condition too, especially for like an eBay horse. So yeah, this is Starlight. I call him Baron, and his show name is the Pirate and Me. So the story with him is I was looking to get into collecting again because I have a job now. I have money. I'm gonna spend it. I want my models. So I'm trying to get more traditionals lately, and as I told you before, I got him like, I don't know, a month ago or whatever. So I was like, okay, cool. So I've been scouring eBay. There's like a ton of models. They have a long list of stuff I want to try and get. and a friend of mine and I, ironically one of those friends I talked about earlier, not the same one that went to the store with me, but the other one. So we found this set. It was Belle and then him. And I was like, hey, do you want to buy this with me? And then we can split the cost, and it'll be like, $10, $12 for each of us. So she was like, sure. So we watched it, and she got it, and we paid for it together. So that's the story of him. Really happy I got him. Beautiful model. Love his coloring, and he's just overall great. So that is the story or my 4 stories that I'm sharing today. Oh, you can't see him. Yeah. So, if you want to say anything below or have video requests or anything like that, I'm still trying to think of videos to make while I work on a script for like a series. So, yeah, thanks.